There's so many people that are just living a life as a cycle. They wake up, they get in the car, they go to work, they get in the car, they come back home. But they have so many ideas, but they're scared.
Hi everyone, my name is Alex Dobson and welcome to part 2 of my chat with Mark Hunter. Mark Hunter is the founder and CEO of a company called Kokea Dreams, which specializes in putting together one-of-a-kind, tailored life experiences. If you haven't caught part 1, please check it out. Now let's go to part 2.
Now you've mentioned quite a few roles in your past career. What was the deciding factor to leave that behind and to start Kokea?
I think what it all comes down to, you're never too old to start your own business. Like Harlan from Kentucky Fried Chicken started at 60 something, whatever it might be. I wish I knew now that I could have done 20 years ago.
And it sounds like if you could redo your career and start your business earlier, you would.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Like the amount of stuff, for the last 5 years, I've followed a very, very strict rule that I've tried to replace television as much as I can with reading. So I'm a feverish reader. I try to read at least one book a week, every single week. A lot of the successful founders, CEOs, they read at least 50 plus books a year.
Okay. So
I read anything from fiction, nonfiction, motivational, self-improvement, business. Because it's you can gain little tidbits from every book that you read.
What's the biggest mistake you've made in running your business to date?
Not starting it until now.
What did the early days of Kokea look like? Where did you source clients? Did you cold call people? Did you just put out kind of an advertisement on your social media? How did you get people to know that you were doing this and to come to you?
Yeah, so what at the initial stages, beginning stages of Kokea, which actually used to be called the Prestige Lifestyle Agency, and I wanted to kind of change it. It was too long, too convoluted. It kind of only pigeonholed people into, am I prestige? Are you not prestige?
What does prestige mean?
Yeah,
is there platinum?
Yeah, how do you measure prestige? So it was more on the line is I wanted to have a very unique name, and I toyed around with the ideas for days, looking at different ideas. Kokea, how it came about is it means experience, which I'm providing in Finnish.
It sounds like you initially started with a different name, you then evolved, and throughout this time you sourced your first clients through essentially kind of connections and people that knew that you were starting this business and started reaching out to you with their individual requirements for a one-of-a-kind life experience, correct?
Yes, that's correct. I'm a strong believer. Not a lot of people are utilizing LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a massive business tool.
Yeah.
And connecting to the people that I connect with. It could be the financial industry. It could be the real estate, commercial, residential. It could be the insurance side of it. Whatever it might be.
Yeah.
These are the clients that I want.
Okay, so LinkedIn is an important tool for you then.
That's correct. Yeah. So I do some on Instagram, but not enough. And Instagram being a big tool as well. Because I think what it all comes down to, cold calling, as I love to do, people are not answering the phone as much as they used to.
I have caller ID now.
That's correct.
Okay, and now shifting again to the present, Are you concerned that your business model might become redundant in the future as booking things like planes, cars, boats, and trips becomes increasingly common and easy to do so on the internet?
Yeah, when it comes down to any business, you have to make sure you're up with the times. I understand now you can book jets like an Airbnb now, which I don't believe that is going to work out in any sort of way, because with the safety, the security side of it. But I heard there's, I think it's called, forgive me if it's incorrect, I think it's called Black Jet. It's out of the States. That's sort of your Airbnb for jets.
Okay.
But I think what it all comes down to, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't really care what my competitors do. I still see what everybody is offering, and what is going to differentiate us from them. It's more in the line is, I will go to the ends of the earth for my clients.
I like that, the ends of the earth for your clients.
Because it all comes down to these people, my ideal clients will pay for the services and the products they expect.
That makes sense, yeah. And I guess booking something online is not necessarily something that perhaps your clientele might be interested in, because they're looking to, utilize their time differently and to have someone else do this in the background for them, and for them just to show up and have, a fantastic life experience. As the owner of a small business, and especially at the beginning, you kind of have to be a jack of all trades, and you have to do all the roles required to run the business. So you have to, do everything from the accounting to the marketing to the customer service. What's the most difficult daily task for you that you have to do as CEO of Kokea, and how do you overcome it?
As being a small business, I am not at that point of actually being able to hire somebody as of yet, but yeah, it's more in the line as I really didn't like the accounting.
Okay.
So, but the accounting means money that's going out and money, more importantly, that's coming in. So you gotta be disciplined. You gotta be diligent, because if people are booking something and they're saying, "Yeah, I'll pay you next week" or whatever it is, you have to be as professionally persistent, no matter what business you're doing.
So it sounds like the numerical accounting bit of the business is probably the most difficult task, or the task that you enjoy least, but in order to get over it, you just have to kind of sit yourself down, discipline yourself, and say, what, this is an important aspect. As much as I don't like it, I have to do it for now, and that's how you overcome it.
Yeah, because when it all comes down to life in general, like, you have to do things that you're not comfortable with.
Yeah, you can't enjoy everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, assume I was a busy C-level executive, and you were targeting me. You found me on LinkedIn or through some sort of, network that you have access to. What would your pitch be to me?
Well, the first thing I would do is I would meet you in similar setting like this, office, whatever it might be, and just to. The only way you're going to be successful with this type of service is, I would ask them, what have you always dreamt of doing?
Okay.
And then that would get them thinking. I'd be like, okay, well, have you ever thought of traveling here, dining here? What about I don't know. What about, have you ever thought of parasailing or skydiving? Just to get their juices running, and it's more in the line is, and it's not just focusing directly to them. Where have you and your family always wanted to go?
So it's kind of getting a brainstorming session started.
Yeah, that's correct. And then what we do is we take that information from there, and then we come up with a fully customized, tailored itinerary.
And if I had said that I wasn't interested at this time, what would your next steps be?
Next steps would probably be to follow up. Probably, I would say my follow-up procedure is usually around like every 3 months.
Okay.
Just to send them just a generic email. Hey, have you had any thoughts about what we spoke about, you and your family? Have you thought about vacationing? I understand that you work 15 hours plus a day, and understand you're building this company. But what it is life is so precious. You need to make time to enjoy it.
Interesting. So first, you would, when you sat down with them, you would have a kind of a brainstorming session, sort of ask them some sort of open-ended questions, then send them some sort of customized options to select through. But if they hadn't shown any interest, then you would sort of keep them on your radar, maybe put them on a separate list, and then follow up with them on a recurring interval every 3 months, and see if something happens out of that.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to. Like business, like if you're not following up, somebody else is following up.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I guess it's the definition of persistence in this case.
Yeah, for me, I'm probably one of the most professionally persistent people you're ever gonna meet.
Do you think everybody can be self-employed, or is it only for certain people?
I believe, I believe like with everything else, like Michael Jordan being cut from his high school basketball team, ended up being the greatest basketball player of all time because he put in the effort and the time and the persistence. I think that's what it comes down to. If you have, there's so many people that are just living a life as a cycle. They wake up, they get in the car, they go to work, they get in the car, they come back home. But they have so many ideas, but they're scared. And I think that's what it all comes down to. I believe every person can be an entrepreneur. There's other people out there that say otherwise.
Yeah.
You have to be born that way. I don't believe that.
You think it's a kind of a learned experience, and it's kind of like an acquired taste in the sense that if you're willing to put in the risk, then you can be successful as an entrepreneur regardless of who you may be. Have there been any moments in your journey as an entrepreneur where you thought you expressed self-doubt as to your ability to lead Kokea in the future?
Everybody gets that feeling. They have good days, they have bad days. It's how you rebound from those bad days. And what you have to do is you have to take those little small victories that add up to a big victory.
Yeah, that makes sense. Everybody does have ups and downs, like you said, and it's all about pushing through those downs. Now, generally speaking, what do you think about failure? Is it okay?
I believe everyone should love and accept failure.
Okay.
Because when it all comes down to is it's the lessons you learn from the failure that you encounter. I think that's what it all comes down to. Because everybody's going to fail. It's just how do you get back on the horse and continue on to your journey.
And what have you learned through that failure that's going to help you be successful on your next adventure? Yeah.
I think what it all comes down to is having that perseverance, that tenacity, that grit, that you're not going to take no for an answer.
Right. That persistence we were just talking about.
That's correct. You have to be, as a business owner, not everyone's going to love your product or your service, but there's always going to be someone down the road that will like it, right?
Yeah.
And for you to give up just before it's getting better, it's not the way you should be living life. Yeah, that's correct. As much as you get knocked down, as long as you get back up, and you're always looking for new avenues of your business, new customers, clients, you will be successful as long as you